Black unicorns out there. Hopefully, you all are able to hear and see me okay. I am taking time to record for you all to share with you um, what it was like looking for a place to rent here in Ghana and my experience with looking for um, a place in general, going from an apartment to finally deciding on a house and why I made that decision and how much it cost. So, um, hopefully, you all like, subscribe, and share my videos so that maybe one day I can monetize this. I would love it if you all will start to support me so that I can create more content and have the money to be able to travel throughout Ghana to be able to provide you with more footage. I am going to be making business videos. I've done some business, but business here in Ghana is different than how it would be in the States or in Europe. That's what I could talk about. So it's different. So it's different than the West, how things operate, time, processes, everything is completely, I want to say almost opposite, but it's not even opposite. It's just unique to the continent, unique to Ghana. So I'll be making videos about that for those of you interested in starting businesses here. Um, so let's just jump into this why I decided to live in the greater Accra region versus living in one of the other regions of Ghana. And quite frankly, I don't really like Accra at all. If there was a vibrant business community in other parts of Ghana, I would have happily went there. And yes, I know Kumasi is doing its thing, but for the field that I am in and what I do, I need to be based in an area where the financial market is and where the technology market is. So for me, that's here in Accra. But I decided to find a place on the outskirts of Accra, at least as outskirts as I could go, that can still allow me to get like an Uber and a car when I need it and get into town. I'm about, let's say, I'm about 45 minutes outside of Central Accra. And what's Central Accra? It'll take me about 45 minutes to get to the financial district, but it also takes me about the same amount of time to get to the Osu area. And Osu area is where all the um, clubs and markets, not markets, but like clubs, restaurants, hotels. It's just that central area a lot of people stay in. A lot of tourists, all tourists at some point go to Osu, especially Osu Street. Not Osu Street, I think it's Oxford Street. I can't remember the name of the street. It's that main street that everybody comes to see what's happening and go to all the clubs and stuff that's in that area. So without traffic, it's 45 minutes. Any of you know Ghana? There's no such thing as without traffic here. Everything has traffic. Like, it's traffic chaos here. So with traffic, it's over an hour to get from where I'm staying to the center. And New Year's Eve night, after New Year's Eve, when we were on our way back to my house, it took almost 2 hours because the traffic was so bad. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm really glad that I'm outside of the city because I think Accra is like any other major city worldwide. You got the hustle, you got the bustle, you got the nonsense, the traffic, the borderline pollution, the nonsense, all the hustling. I'm good on that. Nosy neighbors, robbing neighbors. you know, you just got crazy stuff. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say robbing, but a lot of petty crime happens in a lot of these neighborhoods. And not saying that mine is immune to that, because that is not the case. I don't think no place is immune to that. That's why there's gates everywhere, and everything's locked down with bars. But the area that I'm in, I think this neighborhood or municipality is Bawe Malam Weja. And this is the area that I'm in. And it's up in the mountains. But it's a part of the mountains that are Complete opposite of Brewery Mountains, but it's also well developed over here. So there's a lot of older homes. There's a lot of new development here, but I feel like there's development all over Accra, period. But um, I say that for this area because you have the greenery, but you don't have as much as you would have in like some of the other mountainous areas because the trees and stuff have been cut down to make for the buildings. And when that happens, that makes for a lot of dust. And I did not know how dusty your house can get with these roads here. Yeah, so that's a lesson. And this is Africa, so the dust is like just reddish clay. I want to say almost the same kind of like clay dirt you would see down in Georgia, but it's real, real dry. And I believe this is the dry season too. So when it blows, oh my God, your floors get crazy dusty. They're constantly cleaning. But with that said, I looked in several different areas. I looked in this area, Kaswa. I looked in Legon, East Legon. Adenta was on the list, and really focused and narrowed down to just Bawe. And ran into so many hurdles when it came to these agents. And when I say agents, I mean there is this completely unregulated, wild, wild west or wild, wild, crazy ass, do what you want to do how I want to do it. People out here claiming to be real estate agents to find you an apartment or a house, but they want to charge you to do it. So they want to charge you to just come and look at the place. They want to charge you 10% or basically 1 month's rent if they get you the place. And they won't take you directly to the place you want to go to, especially if you found it online. They'll take you to a bunch of other little places that you're not interested in. And each place you go to, you have to pay for. So if you go see 5 apartments, you pay for all 5 apartments. So you're paying like 100 CDs to go see those 5 apartments. And no. My boyfriend was helping me the whole time trying to find a place, and I was getting more and more frustrated with the agents because of the incompetence. And when I say the incompetence, because the system is not regulated, there's no licensure for these people. Like in the states, if you're a real estate agent, because yeah, your girl was a real estate agent once upon a time in the state of Texas, and just saying. And I had my license, all that. So, like in the states, you would have to go get your real estate license. So you have to take your courses for real estate, pass the exam to be a licensed real estate agent, and then you have access to MLS and all that other stuff in order to be able to sell houses or apartments or rent them out. Here, I could be wrong. Please let me know if I am. But here, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of like you can do whatever the hell you want to do when you want to do it. Claim you're an agent, and depending on how lazy the owner is, if they want to be bothered with their property or not, they'll say, "Oh, okay, you're an agent. We'll let you give you our money to help us sell our property or help us rent out our property." It was a nightmare dealing with these agents because they will be blocking your ability to talk to the owner, and they'll tell you things like, "Okay, I showed you this house. You like the house. You need to pay me 1 month's rent up front plus my agent fee. But I'm not giving you the keys and I'm not giving you the lease or a tenancy agreement, but you need to pay me if you want to even get the keys from the owner." I was like, "It's what? I mean, you about to make me call all kind of names. You about to make me be like, they was. I almost said that a few times because I was just like, you got me fucked all the way up with that nonsense." So it got to the point where I became very short tempered with these fools. So my boyfriend started taking over the talking because he was just like, calm it down, let me get it, let me get it. And so, long story short, the one house that I had initially wanted when I did another video talking about, I think I found the house, the agent blocked the ability to get the house. The owner wound up saying, "Oh, I'm not going to rent it anymore." Everything fell through. So it was just like, it just made no sense because the agent was going back and forth, not wanting to tell us who the owner was, and then we found out who the owner was, and then giving all these, you know, not being truthful about things. And it just led to a bunch of complications. So we wound up finding another house. And the way that my boyfriend helped me find the house that I have now is that we started walking around the area that I was most interested in and just literally walking. So it was a day that he was off from work. And he was like, okay, pack your bag, get ready because we're about to walk, which he meant take your water, your mosquito spray, your sunscreen, and all that stuff that you need to survive walking in this African heat. Because this heat, baby, this heat. Let me tell you something. Y'all think y'all got heat in the South? Please, honey. The sun out here. No. It is a different type of hot. This is a different type of heat. But anyway, we wind up finding the house that way by walking around, talking to people, asking questions, and getting directed to this house. And it turned out that the house had been empty for almost, God, over a year. I think it was like 16 months or something. It was empty a long time. So the owner wanted way too much. I'm like, no, I got a max, and my max is 1,200 CDs, 1,200, which means I need to be under €200, which is about $215 if you want to do the conversion. So for me, I was like, I need to be clean under €200 because I'm not paying more than that because I have to pay the rent a whole year in advance, and no. And I didn't want to pay more than what I would pay 1 month's rent in Europe or a month and a half rent in Europe. So I wound up getting the house for 1,200 Ghana CDs, which at the time that I did the conversion and got the money, it was €190. So I paid €190 per month for this house, which was about, so I'm doing the conversion for you. So €190 equated to 1,200 Ghana cedis for lease for 12 months. I paid 14,440 Ghana cedis for the year because you have to pay your rent in advance here. Now, most of the folks here want 2 years of advance rent. For me, that is absolutely nonsensical. There's no way I'm giving you that much money at one time, especially when I don't know what to expect when I move in. Because if you ever rent it, you know when you move into a place, it may seem great when you first get there, and then all of a sudden you're starting to see all the stuff that's bad, or you don't like the neighborhood, or whatever reasons. You don't want to be locked in. So I was like, I am not paying 2 years. Nowhere, period. And so with this place, the landlord was willing to take 1 year, and I got it for the 1,200 and not for the 1,500 that he wanted. And I'm still talking about the CDs. It's 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, with a large living room. A compound basically is your lot. So the lot that your house is on. Here they don't fence off their property, they wall it off. So you have a concrete wall around your house with a gate. You have a gate for the driveway, you have a gate to come in as a pedestrian walking. So you basically have 2 gates in and out of the property. And I explain it like this because they call it a compound. And for me, I didn't know what a compound meant. I just was like, that sounds like jail. like, I don't know. It sounds like something. I don't know what it sounds like, but it sounds crazy to me. So I was like, what's a compound? So then I started realizing what a compound was. So this particular compound is large. It has 2 coconut trees in it. It has a sunroom, which is a gazebo. But the gazebo is made differently here. So anyway, the roof of the gazebo was half off. So now the carpenter is fixing the gazebo. There were some issues I found out later with the electric. The wiring is messed up. So the electrician has been here all day, basically yesterday, fixing these kind of things. But overall, it's a nice Ghanaian home because it has it's an older Ghanaian home. I like it because it has a very uniquely African feel to it and doesn't look like one of the new super ultra modern Western, houses or apartments that you can get anywhere in the world. This is something unique to Africa. Uh, Even from the way that the outside is constructed, the fact that it has, I don't know how to describe the, it's hard for me to describe how they have seashells inside of the structure of the home. So the outside of the home is almost like they mix it with cement and seashells to make things like the railing and to make outside decor of the house. And you can see the seashells glistening from the concrete. You could just see it. It's just beautiful the way it is, and you won't really understand that beauty unless you are looking for these type of features. The ceilings are wood. Think of a hardwood floor, but your ceilings. You probably kind of see it right here behind me. It's like that throughout the entire house. I love that so much. The doors are original handcrafted wood doors, um, and the way that they are carved, very unique to Ghana. So there's these small elements that I find absolutely stunning about this house, and why I wanted to have the house. Is the house perfect? Absolutely not. Does it need some work to it and some things to happen? For sure, because the guy did not care about cleaning his house before he rented it out, which is fun. Oh God, something just bit me. Okay, no, it didn't bite me. He didn't seem to care about cleaning the house out before he rented it out. So there was scribbles, like these fools that lived here before let their kids scribble all over the walls, and I think that's trifling. Your kids should know how to act. I'm just letting you know. I would be whooping some behind, upside down and sideways. You should scribble on my wall, boy. Okay, okay. Let me get back to it. So they were scribbling on the walls, and it's all over the place, dirt everywhere, dust. Like you had to come in this house and really see the beauty in it to take it. I like the tiles on the floor as well. I think the tiles are gorgeous. So it's just a lot of small things for me that worked. So everything's cleared out now. The painting is happening, as I mentioned before. And the house, I think, is becoming a home slowly. I did go out and purchase appliances, TVs, for the house, and a mattress. Was able to get some things shipped from the States. So I got my living room set, dining room set, and my backyard grill all shipped to Ghana. So I'm waiting for those to arrive. And I mentioned in a video a while back, right before I left, that the people were trying to rip me off and try to charge me 3, 4, 5,000 euro to ship my stuff to Ghana. But being with a Ghanaians have this ability, and I think Africans in general have this ability to talk to each other, even if they don't know each other, when they see each other out in public, when they are abroad. And that's exactly what happened. We were out. He saw another Ghanaian, just started chatting, just started talking, exchanged numbers. Next thing I knew, I got my refrigerator sold, got a bunch of other stuff sold, and then wind up talking to somebody else and was like, hey, I'm shipping stuff over. We have a container. There's room. Do you want to ship? And it's like, what? So I was able to ship those things I mentioned earlier for 600 euro. Or no, 500 euro. Yeah, 500 euro. 500 euro shipped everything. As a matter of fact, I think it was under 500 euro. It was like four something. But it got all that stuff shipped. So that is amazing. So now I'm just waiting for it to get here. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some kind of feel update, some kind of perspective when it comes to looking for a house. I will say when it comes to looking for a house, you need to be completely certain about your budget. 100%. And the reason why I say you have to be certain about your budget is because it is easy as hell to go over your budget here. Because you can have all the luxuries you have in the States or even more, that you have in the States or in the West. Because all that stuff's here. You can spend 5,000 US dollars a month on rent if you want to and get a beautiful, amazing, brand new, state of the art everything. You can spend $1,500 a month on rent. And I'm talking dollars, not Ghana CDs, a month on rent and get a really nice flat in the middle of Accra, in one of those, high rises that they have. And it probably costs you even more than that because Accra is expensive. Accra is expensive because they price things as if it's in dollars, but it's in CDs. But when you do the conversion, you're spending more or the same amount that you would spend in the States. So for me, I was looking at places between 700 at the lowest and 1200 at the highest, period. And here everything's negotiable. So I knew that I can go as high as 15 to 1600 Ghana CDs, look at places that much, and get them more than likely to come down. Now, not necessarily that's going to happen, but that's what I did. So it worked. I will say that for me, flats were not an option anymore because um, I don't like a lot of chaos, right? You never know how many people live in a house. You never know how many people they're going to have over. You don't know how loud they are, how, chaotic they are, what they're doing. And people that have apartments here, the apartments are like, I don't know how to describe them. They're not like apartment complexes in the US. They're smaller than that. They're way more intimate. So to me, people are just way too close together. And then you have the parking for it, which would be inside of a compound because everything here is walled off. And that's just a whole nother animal. And I was like, you know what? I don't want none of this nonsense. And I want to be able to rent out a couple rooms, 1 or 2 rooms in my place to people who would be interested in having more of a village feel when they're in Accra versus having that crazy, chaotic city feel. So that's why I picked the house. And also having the house is good for me because I have adult children and family and friends that I want to come visit. And, I have a boyfriend here too, and, he has kids, so he may or may not move in at some point. So we'll see how it works. So having something to this size is good for me to get my bearings on what it is and where it is I want to live here in Ghana, and also help me to decide where I want to buy property because I'm going to buy land and I'm going to build. I'm not going to buy this house. I'm in this house to get a feel for the country, to get a feel for, the city that I'm in, and to get a feel for the area itself. But I'm almost 100% certain I'm not going to build in Accra. I mean, I don't like Accra. Not to be disrespectful to folk, it's just not for me. So, this though, being here right now provides me a base and allows me to venture off, to venture down towards the coast, going towards Cape Coast, to Krati, Winneba, and upwards into the eastern region, central region, the Ashanti region, and just really being able to explore and decide where I want to be at. Because in the long run, um, the type of business that I do now, the type of business that I'm going to do here in Ghana will eventually lead to me following my dream and opening a university for women. And I want to be able to have that in a place where I can, one, afford to buy the land to build that university and housing for the women, but also that it could be a safe haven for them. A safe haven, not saying that Ghana's not safe, Ghana is extremely safe, but a way for women to get and embrace and be a part of technology and engineering in an environment that's conducive to learning. And so that's my dream. That's my goal. I super long term. Don't even know why I'm sharing it with you all on YouTube, but I am. So I'm thinking of these type of things when I think about purchasing land. So slow and steady is what I'm going to do. But hopefully this video gives you guys an idea of costs. I did take videos of some of the houses that I looked at. I looked at houses ranging from houses and flats ranging from 500 Ghana cedis and the highest being 1,800 Ghana cedis. And the house that was 1,800 Ghana cedis, y'all, please, baby, it was a hot ghetto mess, okay? Ghetto mess. Looked beautiful and glorious outside, but the inside was toe up from the flow up. Toe up. Toe up. It's like, y'all got me. Oh my God, y'all trying to make me cuss y'all out. But that one was like a 5 bedroom or 6, something ridiculously big. But it was just so bad. I couldn't believe how much money they were trying to charge. Anyway, I have video of maybe 5 or 6 different places. I'm going to edit that video, try to add it to this one, or create a separate video with footage of what houses look like and apartments look like here in Ghana, so that you can have some idea of what you possibilities to rent. Remember, here in Ghana, there's so many options that this is just a small glimpse of what you possibly can see. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It's really important for you to like the video so that I can start building up my base. Please subscribe because that is also important for me to start building and being able to monetize my channel. Black Unicorns, please make sure that you are focused and encouraged in this new decade, and you make it do what it do, baby, because it's time for you to come home. So make sure you planning to make that trip back to Africa. Bye.